Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Rising, welcome to your horoscope. My sincere apologies. I actually have a system in place because I have ADD and I'm very easily distracted. So I always put a check mark next to each sign when I'm finished doing the horoscope. And I made the mistake, you can see in the spot between Libra and Sagittarius, that I checked off Scorpio, switched the song on my music, and then came back and went, am I starting this or did I finish it? And then I did the wrong one. So anyway, totally apologize for my mistake. Didn't mean to skip you guys. Welcome to your horoscope. So the big news this week is the sun, which represents our core self-development, like character development, how we see ourselves, how we come to know ourselves. The sun is going to be in the same spot as Venus and Uranus in the beginning of the week, which brings an element of transformation as well as love. So like loving ourselves through transformation. And it's all happening in the sign of Taurus, which is an earth sign, all about being grounded, taking things one step at a time, but also there's an element, Taurus brings a very stubborn energy. So sometimes we are stubborn even in the face of maybe needing to make some adjustments or make some changes. But then the flip side of that is that sometimes what happens is when we decide something or realize something, it's like we can't unsee it. We can't unthink it. All of a sudden, it is just decided fact. And that in itself, we can become stubborn in. And the reason I bring this up is because sometimes, we'll just deal with stuff forever. We'll stay stuck forever. We'll stay stagnant with certain people or certain situations, and then an event like this comes up and it's almost like a light switch being flipped, because this conjunction in the beginning of the week of the sun, Uranus, and Venus happens in your seventh house. This element of transformation and change, but also like light switch changes, is happening in your seventh house of one-on-one relationships. The seventh house is ruled by Libra. It's represented by the scales. And it's about the ways in which we have those really, really close dynamics, but there is a theme, an undercurrent of balance, give and take. And an event like this can be kind of like the one thing that tipped the scale for you. So this could be romantic relationships, it could be close friends, besties, it could be roommates, it could be a work relationship, a business partnership. So there's a lot of different ways that the seventh house energy can come through, but that's the idea. The theme is the scales. And the sun conjunct Venus and Uranus is not only something just tipped the scales, but I am really excited about trying something new. Because the other reason why we would be stubborn or resist change is because change feels scary. The unknown feels scary. And when we're comfortable, even if it's kind of an unhealthy comfortable, or maybe just not satisfying, not our highest path comfortable is comfortable whenever we have become used to. And the new moon in Taurus a week ago was all about establishing a new normal. And even though we might have a conceptual idea of what that new normal might be, as far as kind of getting unstuck and moving in a new direction, sometimes that's really hard. So this is an awesome boost where you will be more motivated to seek out new connections, new partnerships, new relationships. But the other side of that is when you come to recognize yourself as being different, as having gone through a transformation, seeing yourself differently is really important. It's an important part because seventh house relationships are all about seeing ourselves through the eyes of others. And sometimes that's really frustrating and discouraging because none of us see clearly. We all have our own personal perspectives. And so what might be happening for you this week is a sense that you don't like the reflections that you're seeing in the eyes of others in your life, in your workplace, maybe in your day-to-day situations. But basically it's like, it's a culmination of events, like the thing that tipped the scale, the straw that broke the camel's back. It's a combination of like, okay, wait a minute, I am different. I'm ready for something new or something exciting or something where I can really thrive as opposed to just kind of plateau. So yeah, don't be afraid to allow yourself to be guided. If you are typically a homebody and for some reason this week you're like, I feel like doing something different, That is the best way to embrace this energy of change and transformation. Do something different, expose yourself to different situations, connect with different people, open up new opportunities to see yourself through the eyes of others. Please give yourself permission to walk away from any situations in which other people's perspectives are bringing you down, limiting you, or making you generally feel like garbage. So many times we tolerate these things because maybe we'll be like, oh, maybe I do suck. You know what I mean? And we take other people's opinions to heart. So this is definitely going to be a time of really having some strong realizations as well. Sometimes, like I said, light switch moment or aha moment, and oh my God, I can't believe I never saw that before moments, that kind of thing. The thing that's potentially going to work against you or be a challenge this week is the fact that in the middle of the week, Mercury moves into Taurus and creates a square, which is a challenge or an obstacle with Pluto. So this is where being stubborn, being stuck, resisting change, getting in our own way, self-sabotaging, that's where this might come up. So in the beginning of the week, you're going to be really motivated for change, but in the middle of the week, something might pop your tires. Something might deflate your enthusiasm. It could be a harsh word from somebody. It could be something that just makes you doubt yourself. So please be mindful of the inner dialogue you have and ask yourself a lot of questions about, like, okay, why do I see myself that way? Or is that person do they even have the right to judge me or have an opinion? You know what I mean? Give yourself permission to extrapolate your personal perspective of you versus anybody else's unclear, filtered perspective. You will always see yourself the best, and this is an amazing week for you to create some space in which you can refresh that vision of yourself. And yeah, what I wrote down for the Mercury square Pluto in the middle of the week is that it's old bonds of emotional safety or comfort that can keep you coming back for more. It's like, if you figure out what you need, you can give it to yourself instead of going to someone else for it. Just because it feels comfortable doesn't mean it's the best for you. And you're not asking too much. Your feelings are valid. And desiring something better is awesome. Staying the same, plateau, it's just not what's going to satisfy you right now. And for all of this planetary party to mostly be in Taurus, it's about what is really going to satisfy you, not just surface level. You're a Scorpio or Scorpio rising. It has to be a deep satisfaction, a profound feeling of enjoying where you're at. We can only tolerate discomfort for so long. And if you have a sense that the people around you or you are feeling this way, if you sense that within your relationships you're just tolerating each other, red flag. Not a good place to be. You can do better. They can do better, whatever the situation is, right? So yeah. You have new reasons to connect. And at the end of the week, that's what I was going to say. At the end of the week, the sun moves on to joining Jupiter. So it's like the beginning of the week, you're going to be stoked. Middle of the week, you might feel deflated. And then the end of the week, Friday, Saturday, you're going to feel really stoked again. So kind of a midweek slump, but both weekends are going to have opportunities to perhaps socialize in a new way, connect with new people. And when the sun joins Jupiter at the end of the week, that is personal freedom. So if in any way your freedom is limited, freedom of thought, freedom of spirituality, freedom of movement, if any of your freedoms are taken away or restricted within your partnerships, the idea is going to be freeing yourself, autonomy, and again, making sure that you are as self-sufficient as possible when it comes to meeting your own needs, because sometimes we also get convinced that we need somebody, but we don't actually need somebody. So I hope that helps. Thank you for your patience. Again, my sincere apologies for accidentally skipping your sign this week. But thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time.